Well, I'm not here selling a social media program, but I think that video does a great job communicating the pace of change that we're going through. And the internet and social media is impacting, it's really disintermediating all industries. There's really nobody that's being left unscathed by what's happening with the internet and social media. And even you think of things that wouldn't be related, like relationships. You know, I met my wife the old-fashioned way in a bar. Right? I mean, when we met, we're about ready to celebrate our 20-year anniversary, and I didn't even know how to spell internet at the time. Email was just coming out, and we only emailed within our company. I mean, we weren't emailing outside of the four walls of our company. And social media, I didn't even know what that was. In fact, in 2006, I worked for a technology company that was based up in Boston. And I was up there and we were receiving an award, and I went to the dinner, and the speaker that night was a gentleman named Ray Ozzie. Anybody here know Ray? Any IT guys know Ray Ozzie? He was the original architect behind a program called Lotus Notes. You guys might have had Lotus Notes in the city. And Lotus was acquired by IBM, and so Ray left and he started a company called Groove Networks, which was then acquired by IBM, or excuse me, by Microsoft. And so Ray was talking that night about how his vision of the future. And he said, you know, people are going to start to gather online in communities of people that share similar interests, and they're going to collaborate, and they're going to build new relationships. And I distinctly remember walking out of that dinner that night thinking, what is that guy smoking? I mean, who's going to go online and spend time talking about what they're doing? I thought it was far-fetched. And if you think about it, that was just 06 when that happened. Well, guess who today spends about at least an hour a day on social media? Guess who today is racking their brain trying to figure out how to leverage social media to build their brand, to build their speaking and their coaching career, right? It's become this major challenge for me. And when I was talking to my dad, I asked him, I said, Dad, what do you think the pace of change would be like today in the city? And he paused for a long time. He goes, Mark, let me just tell you, I'm glad I'm retired. and when he said that, I thought, you know, I think the challenge that I'm having adopting this new technology into my life is probably a little bit like what those people that were using typewriters were thinking when the new PC came out. You know, it's how do we get our arms around that? And I said, I wonder when I'm looking back on this in 10 or 20 years thinking, why was that such a big concept to grasp? Why didn't I just jump in and immediately give up the old things that I do to market my company, you know, sending out letters, calling people on the phone, and trust that if I build a brand in social media, people are gonna come. But it's a part of getting us through that change process that I really want to talk about today. And I walked off without my clicker, so if you don't mind grabbing that, that would be great. But anybody want to take a stab or take a guess at why they think change is so difficult? Who's going to be brave and be willing to be the first one? Pardon me?
People are afraid of change.
People are afraid of change? Okay, good. Anybody else?
Takes you out of a comfort level.
Out of a comfort level? Yeah, so fear out of the comfort level.
You can become the non-go-to person, where you've been the expert all along. When something changes, the paradigm shifts, then you no longer are the one people go to talk to.
Ooh, so you kind of lose your significance or lose your role in the process. Good, excellent. Anybody else?
Something old used to be someone's really good idea.
Something old?
Used to be someone's good idea.
Yeah, well, yeah, so there's that sense of ownership. It was my idea. I'm giving up something that I birthed, maybe? Good, thank you.
Just the fear of the unknown.
Fear of the unknown, yeah, exactly. I've got 3 reasons up here on the screen. I think you're going to see a lot of similarities to what we talked about. And this is Mark Finner's position on this of my 30 plus years and changing myself and helping other people change. But I believe that consistency equals certainty, which equals security. And the security really gets down to, you know, who here's Maslow's law of hierarchy of needs, right? We're probably pretty familiar with that. You know, the level 1 says that we need to breathe and we need food. But when you get above that, the next one is security. You need to be secure. And when you ask people to change, you lose that certainty. You lose that security that you had. Number 2, change equals risk equals fear, right? What if I try this new PC and it doesn't work? Or what if I can't be successful with it? Or what if I give up my old way of doing things and I commit to this new social media process and it doesn't work? You know, people don't follow me. I don't build my brand. It's that fear of failure. And number 3 is that change equals work and work equals effort. I call this is the juice worth the squeeze effort. All right, I'm going to go through all this effort to squeeze this fruit. Am I going to get anything out of it that's going to be worthwhile? And I think that the reason I share these with you, a lot of you know the roots behind this, but when I was doing my surveys, Linda gave me a list of 18 managers in here to talk to. I said, give me a list of some of the best and the brightest that I can visit with before I start. And she gave me a list. Did I talk to anybody that's in this session? Okay. Did I talk to you? Okay.
We are the only session. What does that say about us?
I wasn't going to say that. You know, I called Linda yesterday. I said, it's unbelievable. I didn't get to all 18, but I talked to 10 of them. And every one of them's coming to the afternoon session. What is it with the afternoon session? Now, we had some theories. I'm not going to share those. I'm not going to share those with you. But that's a lot of what I heard of were things like, you know, it's not my idea. Somebody brought up the ownership thing. We've always done it this way. And at the root cause of that, I always say that people aren't always being forthcoming. They're not always telling us the real story. So people aren't going to say, you know, I'm scared. People aren't going to say, I'm afraid of that change. They're not going to say, you know, I'm giving up my security. But as leaders, if we can start to dig down kind of beneath that and understand that a little bit better, then we can do a better job having some empathy for them, do a better job having some connection with them, and do a better job understanding them, which can help us bring them to the other side. So what is the leader's role in this process? Our role is to drive growth and change, right? And we do that by leading. Now that sounds easy, but I believe that a leader's job is to go first. Our job is to bring people along. Our job is to create influence where people want to follow us voluntarily. They get excited, if you will, or motivated to go where we're going because we're leading. And a lot of people, when they hear that somebody has an impressive title or leadership position, they assume they're a leader. And sometimes they are, but that's not always true, because leadership's not about a title or position or power, and leadership can't be assigned, it can't be awarded, it can't be appointed. True leadership comes only from influence. Influence can't be mandated, influence must be earned. And for things to change, a lot of times it takes the leader to change. And a lot of leaders that I meet with are a little bit like this girlfriend I had in college. And I remember it was about this time of year, she put together this list of her New Year's resolutions. And she was going to work out more, she was going to get more fit. You'll like this one, she was going to be nicer to people. You know, she was going to be more caring, she was going to get involved in some charity work. And I was looking at that whole list, and I said, man, you've got a big list here. I said, do you think you'll be successful accomplishing everything? And she paused and she looked at me and she goes, this list isn't for me, this list is for you. I see, no wonder it's such a big list. But I think as leaders, you know, we need to think about, okay, is there some things that I need to change